Welcome to episode 162 of Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon.
And I'm Matthew Kay.
And this episode of Beyond the Brick is brought to you by Brickmania.com. Our featured product this week is the USS North Carolina micro-scale battleship. So this is a very limited edition set that Brickmania has released. It's a really awesome little model of the North Carolina. If you're interested in battleships or sea vessels at all, then I definitely encourage you to check this out. I'll have a link to it in the description of this video.
And if you ever toured the battleship USS North Carolina, like I have, you would know it's a very accurate model. So, thumbs up.
That's Dan Siskin's company, right?
Dan?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and he does a great job.
Beat him at arm wrestling every time.
Okay.
And with that, we would like to introduce our guest for this episode.
Yeah, not
Guy
strong.
Himber. So thanks for joining us, Guy.
A pleasure as always. I think this is my 17th appearance, and it's just as fresh and exciting here, times 17, as the first 16 times.
Fantastic.
Definitely. Always good to have you back. And the main reason we wanted to invite you back was to have you talk about your new Kickstarter project, Crazy Arms. So if you want to tell everybody out there a little bit about this project and some of the cool stuff you've been working on with that.
Sure. Well, Crazy Arms, actually, this is its second incarnation. The first time I did it were these little machined guys that weren't injection molded. Like, each one of these is individually machined, and the connection points were pretty much the same kind you would find in a regular Lego-style arm. So that same kind of little clicky guy there.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So the problem I found was I had the same problems with my arms that exist with the system arms, in that if you insert them in and out multiple times, eventually it stresses the little hole in the side of the arms, and then your arms start to flop. They don't stand up anymore. So this new incarnation of Crazy Arms is basically solves three things. Number one, I didn't want to damage anyone's torso when they use the arms. Number two, I didn't want to do anything that was too close to the copyrighted arms of the Lego minifigure, because that's protected. And number three, I wanted to do poses that you can't do with a regular standard system arm. So what we can do is let's try, if we can we play the video? Is our technology level?
Yes. So give me 1 second, and I'll screen share the video here for you. Okay, so I'll pull this video up and should be able to. So here it is. I'll go ahead, and if you want to talk about here, I'll start playing it and start.
Sure. So what you're seeing here, I'm taking off the regular standard Lego arm. Oh, I paused it. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to take the torso off the figure. And this is kind of the cool part about the Crazy Arms. I created these brackets that fit into those two little holes on the hips. So when those brackets go in and they key in, they're symmetrical either side, that becomes your new connection point for the Crazy Arms. So
and then can we just stop right there? How long did that take to figure out? That is marvelous.
You know what? I've probably been playing around and come up with about a half a dozen different solutions over the past couple of years, because I was never happy with the first one. And this idea was kind of a stolen idea from two other solutions, and when I put it together and realized how simple it was, you always feel like an idiot when you come up with really clean, good ideas. You're like, why did it take me so long to do that? But sometimes you have to go through all the bad ideas to get to the good one. So when this one came out, I was like, oh!
Like manna from heaven.
All right, so now you'll see the torso clicks back on. It's like they're not even in there. They just go in. And now through this kind of bushing that now exists, all the Crazy Arms have a pressure pin that just slides right in. And that's it. And now you have a 90-degree bent arm. Now you can just slip this in. Now you have this horizontal arm, and you can swap them out all day long. Everything is just works off of those brackets. So if we come up with new arm poses, they'll use that same system to connect. Then what I show you here is if you want to use like a standard Lego arm along with one of the Crazy Arms, just take out the bracket, yeah, and then put it back on, and you can mix and match them freely.
There you go. Yeah, so you don't have to use just the Crazy Arms or the Lego arms. You can mix them up.
Yeah, mix them up. So I think after this, I just show you a bunch of ideas, like some of the things you can do with them. And, you know, I'm barely even scratching the surface on all the stuff you can do. But, you know, I've always wanted to do that with a minifigure. And that. These are all the things that you just couldn't ever do. And that's really the whole concept behind it, is just opening up all the possibilities of what you can now do with that minifigure.
And now for the piece that goes into the torso, is that the same width as like a lightsaber?
Oh, that hole. You know what? That hole and pin is kind of generated by what it takes to get the surface area and make it work. So I think my hole size is like 1,000. Yeah, that's its own unique diameter, because if I took it up to the diameter of like a Lego lightsaber, then it wouldn't be enough material left to create the stiction, the clutch that it needs.
I see.
If I took it smaller, then it would make it too delicate. So it's kind of that perfect in between to keep it strong and have enough clutch to it.
Okay. But it's still interchangeable within the system that you have there.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
And then another neat aspect of it, and this is the single arm. I'll try to make the show as best as I can. So really, the straight arm is kind of like 3 arms in one. So you can do it so let's call it the meat of the arm. Is that a word? The meat of the arm is biased toward the top, or you can spin it 180, and now it's kind of biased toward the bottom. Or you can spin it, do the math, 90? I think it's 90. Yeah, spin it 90, and then you just have like a straight-on arm without it biased either way. Because I think that's kind of the problem. We don't really truly know what a straight arm looks like in that world. We don't necessarily know what a 90-degree one. So, again, wanting to be respectful of the existing arm and not step on any copyright toes, that was a hard part too. Kind of finding what looks like what we would interpret it as, that took a long time too. Like this 90-degree arm, besides the engineering issues, I don't know, I must have done about 10 versions of that until I got one that everyone seemed to agree felt like the right way it should be. Yeah. So I'm thrilled. I can't wait. The prototype ones, these are all just grown like on a resin printer. The final ones will be my regular injection molded stuff with a nice finish. They'll be like color matched to Legos, and I think the first 5 colors are kind of biased toward military stuff. So it's like tans, grays, white, black, and then if we hit stretch goals, we'll add colors from there.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm just immediately throwing out an idea for like another arm, muscle arm. Has that crossed in the range of ideas?
Well, 2 of the tiers in the Kickstarter are sponsor your own arm.
Oh.
Someone has already bought one of those, and I think they're going to do a pose kind of like this. We'll call it javelin. So it's kind of like if you're out to the side to throw a javelin. I think that's kind of where our pose is coming.
Okay.
So every pledge will get one of those javelin arms automatically. And then if we hit the add-on menu, I'll open that up as a possibility for people to get additional ones too. But yeah, everyone gets the 90-degree bend and the straight arm. Those are all parts of the sets, and I think the minimum pledge gets you 3 sets, so you can pick. Each set can be one of the available colors, which there's 5 of right now. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
So if you want to, you can go into a little more depth if you want about some of the rewards. What are some of the dollar amounts that people can support at, and what kind of stuff you get at each dollar amount?
Sure. I think at the minimum level at 20, each set costs like $6 a set. So each set is a straight arm, a bent arm, and 2 brackets. And then as you progressively do higher amounts, then the cost per set goes down. So I think if you get I hope I get this right. I think at the $40 level, you actually get 10 sets. So that gets your set cost down to $4 per set.
I was just looking at it right here. That is right. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Right. So yeah, the more sets you get, the less the cost is per set. And then again, if you really want to do your own pose, I think it's like $1,000. We'll do any pose you want, as long as it's not the traditional Lego pose. But outside of that, we'll do anything. Yeah, you just work with me and my designers, and we do a pose that's, you know, like the Beyond the Brick pose, whatever that might be.
The patented Beyond the Brick pose.
Yeah, Beyond the Brick pose. So yeah, there's still I think a little less than 3 weeks left. It's like 2/3 of the way funded already, and I'm starting to actively promote it now, just because I was a little busy the past couple days, but now I'm just basically spending a lot of time to pump it up, because I want us to unlock some extra colors out of it as well. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, no one's had anything bad to say about it yet.
That's
no
good.
one to come in and rip your. No, that's not how it would look. That's not right. This doesn't.
No,
you haven't had any.
It's one of those things where when you see it, it all makes sense, and everyone's like, "Oh, why haven't we had these? You know, why doesn't this exist already?"
It's like the cold side of the pillow or something. You know, you feel it, you see it, or it's like, oh.
It's like that, the comfy side. And then what else? I'm trying to think what else to show. Oh, and then if we get to the add-ons, I usually like to do a crate for every Kickstarter. I do a Brick Arms crate, so we're probably going to do the stained glass crate.
Very nice.
Yeah, and this is we did some stained glass windows for the mouse guard display. I think, did you guys see those at a Brick World?
I don't know if I saw those or not. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember seeing those.
All right, maybe if it works out, maybe I'll try to go grab those at some point, and I'll show you those, because those are amazing. Yeah, and that was it's kind of a bit when Will and I were playing around with crates. I always want to do like a stained glass one, and kind of based on this idea and some of the things we learned, when the mouse guard display came up, Alice Finch said, "Hey, I want to build a library room," and in that there's these very specific panels that are like stained glass, and then in the book behind them there's oil lamps that light them, so it's like stained glass but indoors, and we wanted to create the tools for her to recreate that, and it turned out awesome. Yeah, and we did lights for that. All right, we'll work that out. Even if we have to cut, we'll cut away, and I'll go dig it out and bring it back, and then we can come back, and then it'll look seamless. Matt doesn't believe me it's going to be seamless. He's got a look on his face like, no, you don't know how we edit here. That's not going to happen.
We'll work something out like that.
Okay.
But yeah, so you briefly mentioned the mouse guard there. If you want to talk about that a little more, I think last time we had you on, you were had recently done that project. How has that gone for you so far?
Oh, okay. Yeah, mouse guard turned out awesome. I would say some of my most favorite things I've done so far, because the focus on those was to do fully painted and colored heads. So here, I brought one here, and I think when I was here last time we only maybe had prototypes, but you can see there's just these beautiful subtleties to the paint job. It's like an 8-step paint job, and it's
wow.
In this light, it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing a series of custom figures with the guys at Citizen Brick. They're going to do some really nice like chest hair printing. Chest hair? Mouse chest hair? What would you call that?
I think that works. You know?
Matt, you know a lot about mice. What's the technical, like the scientific term for mouse chest hair?
I think it's fur.
Fur? There. Okay, fur. There. So chest fur. And then they're going to go in like the Citizen Brick style packages. So this is obviously a Citizen Brick one, you know, because it says it right there. But we're going to do a mouse guard version of this, and we're also going to do a limited edition. So imagine, you know, there's a mouse guard one, and it'll say mouse guard and mouse guard art. We're going to do a limited edition, like copper color version of the weapons. So I think we're going to start with Liam is the most popular character, and then we'll just, if they do well, we'll just keep doing all the other characters from the series.
And now this is Citizen Brick we're talking about, so this is going to be luxurious pad printing, am I correct?
Oh yes, we like our pad printing. Yeah.
Of course.
And as we were just talking about before the show, we all had a chance to go visit over there when we were in Chicago and Brick World to hang out with Joe and that was really cool to see how that process works.
It's a
Yeah,
wonderful.
Full factory of Oompa Loompas.
Yes. And pad printing is a step above the rest. You know, we're talking about the same way that Lego prints, right? More or less.
Yeah. So pad printing is a lot of the stuff you'll see, like someone said, let's say with the Brick Arms crate, is what's called digital printing. So it's, in its simplest terms, it's like a laser printer you would have at home, but instead of printing ink, it actually prints plastic, or a type of plastic, and then it's cured in place by ultraviolet light. So it's pretty awesome stuff. If you've ever had cavities filled at the dentist recently and they use a purple or a blue light, it's that same kind of process. It's they figured out how to activate stuff without heat, just the ultraviolet rays, and that's what you're seeing there. That's like magic Area 51 ultraviolet technology.
And that's what allows there to be that height, you know, raised, because you cure and print and continually recover, and
yeah, there is dimensional parts to that. Actually, hang on. This is my favorite example of dimensional printing, when we did skulls. And if you ever see me at a convention, well, you guys have, come ask me to see this crate and feel it. But each individual skull is separately dimensioned and printed. It's
wow.
The coolest thing ever. And this is I think it's like a lot of things. It's easy to click a button, but only a few printers have really mastered the sculptural art of it. And you know, Will at Brick Arms is kind of a perfectionist, and he's crazy enough to pursue it and let me kind of give him kooky ideas. So I love it. Yeah, it's a very time-consuming and resource-heavy process. So it's not for everything, but for the projects it works for, it's really cool.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah, that's
also,
super awesome.
Let's see. Around the time we did Mouse Guard, we also did the top hats, and I told you guys we were going to try to make a holder for them, but I didn't. So the top hats are another thing. The original ones I did were machined, and then as I started opening things up, I mean, these are, you know, fully injection molded color matched versions. So we did 6 colors of those, and these have been stupid popular. Everybody loves how these turned out. So I may. All right, let's see if I can do this without it all falling. I don't think I can. There's all the colors. Sort of, kind of.
There you go. Yeah.
And I think I'm going to do some special edition ones. I think I might do some purple ones. I've had a lot of weird requests for funky colors, and if I can fit those in with other project runs and stuff, then I'll do some specials also. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then also part of those, this is another guy. This guy I've just started to show, but it's a character called a Mechtorian. Obviously, it uses my top hats I'm a fan of. And this design comes from an English artist named Dr. A. D-O-K-T-O-R, and then just A. And he does a line of like art collectibles called Mechtorians. So it's like, you know, mechanical Victorian Mechtorians that are awesome. So we, through mutual friends, met and just hit it off right away. And I was running a mold set, and I said, hey, I'm a fan of your stuff. What if we found a way to sneak some of those in and eventually we do something with them? So it's actually this headpiece and the mustache. And the mustache is removable.
Nice.
And that's all metallized paint, and this is all pearlescent. So the first 2 editions are going to be, I think we have this one. There's another one where it's like a gold head with maybe purple eyes. And then I think we're going to do a minifig version, and also what you saw there, which is sort of like the deluxe version, which would be a kit. And yeah, I can't wait for these to come out. Everyone who's seen them has been really excited about them. And the little minifig version will also be in doing that with the Citizen Brick guys. They're going to do some printing. So the interesting thing will be, oh, and the little buzzsaw hand is from Brick Warriors. Yeah, when I first saw that, I knew I was going to use that for something. So the weird thing is, I wanted to use the standard packaging from Citizen Brick, but he's too tall to fit in there with the top hat. So he's just too big. So on all of them, we're going to make him sit down. So he'll be the first Citizen Brick helped that one where the figure's actually sitting down in place in the pack.
There you go. That's one way to do it.
His hat's too big. Yeah. So yeah, those are fun coming out. And then what else to tell you guys? Oh, Brick Fiesta. And this month in Austin, which I can't wait to go to. I'm so excited because not only is it my first time at the Brick Fiesta convention, it's also in Austin, which is where Steve Jackson Games is based and headquartered out of. So they're the guys I did Munchkin Bricks with, and they're such a cool bunch of guys. So the neat thing we did at Brick World was I had created a Lego Munchkin game board, and as part of the fundraising there, 3 people got to play on the Munchkin game board with Steve and myself. And actually, now we think we can. If I pull up that picture, I can call it up, right?
Yeah, you should be able to screen.
All right, we're gonna try this.
Okay. See if we can get the technology to work.
If we can get it to work. All right, so we're gonna say share the entire screen, and share, and okay, did it come up?
Yep, there you go.
Excellent. All right, so what you're seeing here is a big old game board, and I keep improving it each time. All right, are we back to us now?
Oh, there's Josh. Oh, God.
There we go. Okay.
There you go.
So yeah, there's a couple cards in the card game. It's not like Magic, where there's crazy, amazing cards that let you dominate the game, but there's certain cards in Munchkin that have become really highly collectible because they're pretty rare. And one of those is called the Evil Stevie Changes the Rules card. You can't get those anywhere, and Steve Jackson brought those were 2 of the prizes you could win. And what that is it's a version of Steve Jackson drawing a new set of rules, and he actually draws on the card a new set of rules that apply to your game. Yeah, people kill their family pets to get these cards, and we actually had 2 of them up for grabs. So that's the kind of stuff that he brings, plus I bring a bunch of prototype stuff from Crazy Bricks, so we have a real fun time with it. So we're definitely going to have that at Brick Fiesta, which I'm looking forward to, and also excited because I'm going to be the keynote speaker there too. So it'll be like talking with you guys, but there'll be like 1,000 of each of you to talk to.
So you'll be talking about all of your wonderful creative endeavors and both the physical plastic molding arts and Lego building and all kinds of fun stuff, right?
Yeah, all that kind of fun stuff, and just my adventures as an AFOL. We'll be talking about Iron Builder. All the kind of stuff that people know me for, and it's entertaining to talk about.
And I would just like to vouch for Steve Jackson's awesomeness real quick. I played a game of Settlers with him at Brick World, and we enjoyed some chocolate cake together. So great guy.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's a lot of fun to hang out with, and he's a legend. He is like one of the godfathers of the gaming industry, and you can see why, man. He's so enthusiastic about it, and just a wealth of knowledge of things.
Totally. And he's a Lego Train fan. That's kind of awesome too.
Big time.
Big time.
Mm-hmm. So it works well there between the board games and the Lego. It really comes together quite nicely.
Yeah, what's not to like? Those are all good, fun things to do with you.
Indeed.
And something else we were going to ask you about, people might have noticed I have your Steampunk LEGO book on the shelf behind me. So I think last time we had you on, you might have talked about that a little bit. If you want to talk about how that book has gone for you so far, and do you have any other books planned in the future here?
Well, obviously I love the book because I wouldn't have volunteered to spend 2 years making it. So yeah, I was really happy with it, and I think for me, as like author/curator of it, it's been fantastic. Everywhere I go, people come up unprompted and talk to me about the book, either how much they loved it, or have a lot of moms and dads saying how they bought it for their kids, and they were like 3 pages, 5 pages in, and just started building stuff out of it. So I think that's your hope as an author. If you can do a book that you enjoy, that's the first most important part. And then if other people enjoy it as much as you do, then I think you've done your job as author. So yeah, I've lost count of how many I've signed. People just bring them up to conventions at my table. People keep asking me if I brought copies for them to buy too, and I usually don't because books are heavy, dude. I don't know if
yeah.
They're heavy. You know, Crazy Arms, well, those are super light, but books are heavy. So I'm going to send a case ahead to Brick Fiesta, so I'll have at least 20 some odd of them there. I'm happy, and I like to do, when I sign people's books, I usually draw an illustration in them, like either the Voyage to the Moon or a little steampunk Abraham Lincoln or something. So it's been a thrill for me. I don't know if I'm going to do another book in a hurry unless I have, again, something I'm really way into to do. So if I find something that moves me enough, then I would do another book. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's fun to see the results when it's done.
If you had to give advice to someone that was in a position of wanting to write a book, what advice would you give to them? Is it worth it at the end of the day, or are there some certain pre-planning things you would do differently?
Yeah, I would say don't do it for the money, because if you really do the math when you're done, I mean, it's probably illegal. Far below minimum wage. So yeah, do it because it's something that you're passionate about and want to share with people, and the money part is really just kind of like gravy on top of everything else. Yeah, and that's what. And do something you really care about. You know, don't do a book on you know, the Archimedes principle or something, because it's what's popular with all the crazy kids now. I think everyone's still into that Archimedes principle.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then also have a really clear vision what it is. When I started the book, I kind of made a little design primer for anyone involved, and I talked about all the stuff that I wanted it to fall through the whole book, as well as some stuff that would never be in there, like no white pages. No pages were allowed to be white. Every page had to be off-colored or yellowed or age-looking. And I wanted the book to feel like you had stolen it from someone. I didn't want it to ever feel like your book. I wanted it to feel like someone else's book. And that act of possessing the book is part of the story that unfolds as you, you know, enjoy it as you go page to page. Yeah.
So add layers of meaning and thoughtfulness is what you're saying.
Kind of like that, because really, it's unless you do like who's a good example. Like L.B. Sperling, now L.B. Sperling, all the great books like the Assassination book and the Bible books.
Yeah, those are really good.
Yeah, those are special in that she has built them all specific for the tale that follows through the whole way, and it's all her builds. For me, though, I was taking my stuff plus, you know, I think I have like 35, 40 other contributors, and it was like, what really connects these all together, and that was really the trick that I pulled off on the book, was finding a way that's interesting to connect them all together, so it wasn't just a bunch of pictures thrown on a page. So that aesthetic and that atmosphere and that flavor of the book was really what I cared about almost more than the models themselves. I knew the models would be fine on their own, so it was like, what could I bring to enhance them, I guess was the
Totally.
Yeah, so that's some good advice there. So if you're looking to write, you know, a book, maybe even a Lego-related book, if you have an idea, definitely some good advice from somebody who's worked on one, and I think it turned out really great. So definitely great job.
I like it in the background there. That's very cool to see. I'm pointing at it right now.
Yeah, it looks good back there. And one thing I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned that you are going to be at Brick Fiesta. Will there be any other conventions that people can see you at? Maybe if you're going to have a vendor booth set up or might be looking at the models and stuff?
Yeah, I'll be at Bricks by the Bay in San Jose not too long after Brick Fiesta. I think they're only like 2 weeks apart. And then, of course, I'll be at BrickCon. When's BrickCon now?
It's the first weekend in October, I think.
First week in October, yeah.
Last days of September, kind of?
Yeah, it's kind of right around there. And that's, you know, one of my favorite conventions. That's really the one that got me into the Lego hobby again. And I just love it up there. There's something about Seattle and my friends in Seattle. It's always special going up there again. In fact, I was up there earlier in the year for their big, like the Seattle Comic-Con. I just had a blast. It was kind of neat to be up there and not have it be all about Legos for a while. It's just kind of fun to see.
Totally.
Yeah. What else? Tell me about you guys. Did you get your hair cut, Josh? It looks nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. It was probably a week or two ago I did get my hair cut.
Yeah,
So
that
you know
looks
that.
good. And Matt, unless I'm speaking out of turn, a little teeth whitening going on there? A little of the crest?
No, I brushed my teeth before the show. Maybe that's what you're seeing.
Occasionally he does brush his teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are pearly, man.
Yeah, I'm the coffee habit. You know, it's bad for you, right, Guy? Ugh. Your teeth, the tea, coffee. You know, darn it.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that.
Well, we're eagerly awaiting our attendance at Brick Fair, Virginia here in the next couple of weeks. So,
yeah, wish I was gonna be there with you guys. You know, it's just that East Coast trip. I can't do that too many times a year. So it was Brick World this year, and maybe I'll alternate to Brick Fair next year. Just maybe that'll be my thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Have you guys gone international yet? Are any plans to go to Zimbabwe or any of those popular countries for Lego?
Before Zimbabwe, we're thinking Billund would be a more appropriate.
Maybe. No, it's a tough
choice.
choice, but Billund just barely won out.
Is Billund, is that near Zimbabwe?
Same continent, the country of Africa, right?
Yeah, I think they're
It's
close.
all in the country of Africa, so you know it's just like maybe a couple-hour road trip away.
Yeah, it's like around Victoria Falls and all that, I think. Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, yeah, you guys should set up Billund. Could you guys set up a special tour there, you think? Like Beyond the Brick tour?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Would be really cool,
when the
yeah.
Lego House opens, you know?
That could be awesome. And we got a lot of buddies over there in Billund now, too.
Oh, of course, yes. You should come, Guy. I think we should have a North American A-full takeover of Billund, you know?
Dude,
It's like Scareback or something, but
yeah, I'd love to go. That would be fun. Yeah, one day I will, because, yeah, I have a bunch of buddies that are there now. I think I got places for us to crash at least for a couple nights without trying too hard.
Oh, so do you want to start name-dropping people? But I think I know what you're getting at here. Yeah.
There's a couple guys I know there. A couple guys.
Yes. This Lego design department keeps hiring adult fans of Lego. Isn't it a travesty?
It seems like, and I don't even think they speak the language.
I would assume that they just speak English in Billund at this point. There are just so many people from all over the world. It's like the only common denominator has to be English, right?
Yeah,
you know?
That would be nice. Yeah, I think we. All right, when are we going?
We'll have our people call your people, and we'll work that out, you know, here soon.
Yeah, because we got to go before Josh's haircut expires.
That's true. You know, don't want it to grow too long before we head out there.
Yeah, we need to
my kids get brown.
put that all together for sure.
We'll book flights as soon as we finish the show.
Oh, nice.
Sounds good. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for us tonight, Guy. It was great having you on the show. Really appreciate talking with you and catching up on everything you've been working on. Good luck with the Kickstarter project. I'll make sure to put a link to that in the description of this video for anyone who wants to support that project and get some really cool new Crazy Arms for their Lego minifigs. So it was great talking with you, Guy.
Awesome. And as Buddha says behind me, you know, namaste. Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, Guy. Live long and prosper.
All right, guys. Good to see you. And I guess, yeah, I'll be seeing you in a few months here at one of the cons. I'm looking forward to it.
Of course.
Great talking with you.
Thanks a lot.